Okay, so the last thing we need to do is we need to actually implement these two functions here, because if we don't save anything, then this will not be correct, okay? So let's see. For the time being, I'm just going to comment all of these lines of code out, okay? Because I don't want them evaluating, because we will probably run into errors. For the time being, I just want to concentrate on these two functions, okay? So let's see. Okay, so like I said before, we want to split each row of ingredients, okay? And then each row we will split into its three components. So the way we do this is we can say list of ingredients is equal to string of ingredients dot split. And what the split function does, it splits the string into a list according to the character you put here. Now a line break is the character \n, okay? So in this way we can split by a new row. And then we will create what is the JSON ingredients. Remember, we will be storing these ingredients as a JSON because there are three components to each ingredient. So this will be a list, and inside of this list we will have our JSON. So now we can iterate over the list of ingredients, so we can access each ingredient or each row individually. So for ingredient in list of ingredients, and here we can say, well, let's actually print out so you guys see what I'm talking about. We can say ingredient.split, and we'll split it by the space character, okay? So let's see how this looks. So here I have a pre-written recipe. I'm just going to post it and see what I get in my console. See, we're getting this two lists. So we've successfully split each row into its individual item, and then we're splitting each item into a separate item in a list. So instead of printing, we can say that the amount, comma, the unit, comma, ingredient is equal to the ingredient.split. Now here we have a conflict of names, so I'm just going to call this row instead of ingredient so we don't mix up our variables. Okay. Okay, good. So now all we have to do is append this in the dictionary into the JSON ingredients list. Okay, so JSON ingredients dot append, and we can create a new dictionary and say the amount is amount, the unit is going to be unit, and the ingredient is going to be ingredient. Okay, good. So now all we have to do is simply return the JSON ingredients. Okay, so here we have one function solved, and the next one is going to be much easier because it's just the first case, so we don't have to go row by row, we just need to split it by row. So we can say list directions is going to be equal to string of directions dot split using the \n character, and then we can simply return the list of directions. Okay, awesome. Great. So now apparently we have all the information we need to save into our data store, so we can uncomment this and see if this works. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the recipe I created before and hit post recipe, and fingers crossed everything will work. Okay, we get a server error. Okay, and here we see that we're getting these values as integers. So we're getting the minutes and see, we're getting the prep time and the cook time as strings instead of integers, where we formatted them here deliberately as integers. So we need to change this up. We need to make sure that whatever is passing into this function, we are actually turning into an integer. So we'll just turn this into an integer, and we must do the same thing here because we have specified this as a number field. Okay, so there goes one, and here goes the other. And another bug I had is in this post recipe, we see that the name of the cook time is actually cooking time, okay? Whereas in the account, we're trying to fetch cook time, which doesn't really exist because we're not passing a cook time, we're passing in a cooking time. So this is another thing we must fix, okay? So let's go back and see if this works now. And hallelujah, it seems to have worked. Let's see what we have. So I'm going to go to my data store viewer, and in the recipes, I have already my recipes here. So great. This is my recipe, and I see everything's being stored. Okay, here I have my photo URL, so we can actually copy this, open a new tab, go to this URL, and see if the image is serving. Wow, fantastic! Our image is serving. So it looks like we are all up and running. Let's check if this recipe is in the full text search index. Okay, so let's go to full text search. We see that we in fact have a recipes index. So let's go into here and we see our recipes here. So great. So congratulations, you have successfully stored your first recipe into our data store. You have stored the image as well, and you have stored it in the full text search API. So this is fantastic. We are now able to actually run some queries against the index and retrieve results according to the user's queries. So this is what we'll do in the next videos.